the video I want to do today is talking about my favorite eyeshadows in all of my palettes. So from every palette I have, except for the Pretty Rich Too Faced palette, which is pretty new in my collection, I don't know what my favorite shadow is from here because I've really only tried this iridescent pink one. But all of my palettes, I have a favorite shadow in them, and I think it's pretty interesting for you all to know, like, kind of where my favoritism lies, what are the things I gravitate towards. I know this video idea was started by Sophie Alexandra. I think I got it right for once now. And then Rebecca Morgan did a video on this as well. I think I have a smallish collection. How many palettes do I have? It's tough to say how many palettes I have in my collection because I depotted several and I have a lot of singles. I'll calculate how many palettes I have right now. Let's start with my Colourpop 9 pans then. I have technically 3 9 pans, but the third one was brown sugar, which I totally broke apart and put different shadows in. So this is Orange You Glad by Colourpop, and usually there's a pressed shimmer in the middle, but I took amber from brown sugar and put it there. My favorite is Tangerine Dreams. I'm tempted by those mattes in this palette, like so hard. Like that one really hard, but I haven't used it enough to know. I know that I always reach for Tangerine Dreams though. Some of these, it really is that I need to use it more. Like a lot of these mattes I actually haven't used a ton. I've used them a couple times, but I have used Tangerine Dreams a lot. So I think that's why I select it as my favorite. But it is pretty, like, I'm not lying to you. This could be an interesting thing where, like, maybe next year I update this to see if my preferences have changed at all. My other 9 pan, my favorite shadow from this 9 pan, my favorite is Juicy Fruit. It looks gold in the pan, but it's not. It has this pinky gold. It's great. I don't know, I think Juicy Fruit is my favorite, and coming up close is Red Bottoms, which a lot of you know was in my Pan Those eyeshadows. Red Bottoms is just really, really versatile. My favorite shadow from Brown Sugar is Depotted now, but it is Sauté, which is like this green, brown. Sometimes it comes off silvery looking. I think you can kind of see that reflect shifting across that brown. To continue on the Colourpop train, I have 2 other palettes basically to talk about. I have the Sweet Talk from Colourpop and the Sailor Moon from Colourpop. My favorite from the Sailor Moon palette is actually in my Pan Those eyeshadows right now, which is like super cool, and it's Silver Millennium. You can see it's just white, and like on camera it looks kind of champagne-y, I think. And it's also the only shadow that I'll be talking about today that's on my eyes right now because this look is with my Pan Those eyeshadows. Silver Millennium on my inner eyelids right now. Love it. So the Sweet Talk palette, it currently isn't the Sweet Talk palette at all, really. I just decided to make this like hold my pinky purpley Colourpop shadows that I had. My favorite shadow from the Sweet Talk palette actually isn't currently in there. It's in my Pan That palette, which is Melody. Yo, I'm just realizing Melody is really similar to Juicy Fruit. Shut up. Oh, do you see that? Melody and Juicy Fruit are the same thing. I think I have to disqualify Melody. Colourpop, why you be duping yourself so hard? You can't tell me that those are different. No. Okay, well that's poorly cleaned off. I know my second favorite from that palette, and it might come as a surprise, but I really love it right now. And that's ICYMI, which is like this terracotta-y color, and I love terracotta colors right now. I'm just going to put ICYMI over that old area. Terracotta is like the best description of it. That's ICYMI from the Sweet Talk palette. Let's continue with the palettes from brands that I have more than one of. Celestial Storm, if you watched my palette bingo of Dominique Cosmetics palettes, you already know my favorite from here, and that is totally gonna be Electric Amethyst. A close second actually is Zero Gravity. Not really a close because I love Electric Amethyst with my whole heart, but Zero Gravity is this awesome, it's a beautiful gray shadow. In the month of December, when I can do whatever I want, I was using Zero Gravity a lot actually. So there's Electric Amethyst. The base is a very deep purpley pink, and then the top shimmer is this different type of purple to me, a more glittery purple. I love that shadow. Here's Berries and Cream. I'm gonna also awkwardly hold with my arm covering the mirror. I was thinking about it and thinking like, yeah, I'll go for Honey Dipped. Honey Dipped is my favorite. But when I'm actually grabbing this palette, I grab this palette a lot for the mattes, and I'm grabbing it for these mattes a lot of the time. Oh, this is the thing. It's between Toasted and Soft and Sweet. The thing is that for my particular skin tone, Soft and Sweet is really cute on me. It really wasn't until I did that palette bingo that I was like, oh, Soft and Sweet is like the shit. I've been using it since that palette bingo, and it's just really one of my favorites. I think we're going to talk about Juvia's Place now, and we will begin, because I have two palettes from Juvia's Place. One is just depotted. We will begin with the Tribe, which it's obviously like no contest. Everyone knows I love Koro. Koro is just this beautiful white, gold, green shimmer. I think the swatching is turning out bad now. I don't know how well it's showing up. This is gonna be shimmer heavy for sure. So I have two single eyeshadow palettes that are full of my depotted eyeshadows. This is my neutral palette and this is my colorful palette. And the Magic Mini had a mix of neutrals and colorful shadows, but my favorite from the Magic Mini is a colorful shadow, and it was so close between, it was this pink and that gold. I decided on this pink because it is so pretty to me. There it is. I actually am blanking on the name of it. I will pop up the name, pop up where it is in the palette, but it is this like mid-tone Barbie pink with a gold reflect, if that makes sense. All of my favorites are shimmers with like a reflect. It's living right there, living its little good life in my palette. Do you see that little dip? Boop. So I technically have two Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes, but they are also depotted. One of them was Modern Renaissance, the other one was Subculture. I truly don't think I have a favorite from Modern Renaissance. So like the Too Faced palette, where I just don't know what my favorite one is for sure, for Modern Renaissance, I'm not going to swatch my favorite because I just don't know. But my favorite Subculture shadow is actually, and I don't know the name, I'll pop it up. I think it's like Mercury or something. But it is this gray brown. Oh my gosh, but this is where I have like a favorite as well from Subculture. I love this shadow, and I love that yellowy orange I recently used and loved it, and I love Rowdy, which is like that shimmer. I love, oh, this is so tough. That's the thing though, is that what do I reach for a ton? I reach a ton for this one, so I think it will be that. It's just, that color is just really satisfying to me. The next eyeshadows that I have more than one of are from Kaleidos, and we will begin with the VR Neon Kaleidos palette. And my favorite, hands down, is this one. Again, I don't remember, but it's reminding me of Electric Amethyst, but Electric Amethyst is very much purple, and this shadow is very pink with purple reflect, like light. You see a little bit. This shadow is so pretty. And a close second, obviously, is the orange. I don't know what it is with me and pinks, but I'm just like, yes. And then you already know what's my favorite from the Electro Turquoise palette, and that is definitely Tron, this middle one. It was in my Pan Those eyeshadows. I loved working with it. I didn't think I was gonna love it. I was intimidated by it. It's bluey, greeny, goldy. I don't know how to explain it. It's like this seafoam green reflect on this aqua blue, and it makes it look teal. It's so pretty. I love it. And that's Tron from I almost said Electro Tortoise. It's from the Futurism Electro Turquoise palette. From the Tarte palette, this is tricky because I have the Be a Mermaid Make Waves palette, and when I figured out what I liked about eyeshadows and what I didn't like about eyeshadows, at the time of having the Tarte palette, I determined that I did not like the mattes from that palette, but maybe now I'd be fine with them. I guess it's fair to say that my favorites would be a shimmer from that palette. I do reach for this like light purpley silver. It's a chromatic gray, if you know what that means. It's like a gray that looks like it has a color in it, and I really like that. You see from that Tarte palette, I'll pop up its name. I'm so unprofessional. I love that one. It's just really nice. It's a nice neutral. From Psyche's box, which is an all matte indie palette that I have. I like it, but the formula isn't my favorite. But I do know that a color that I really think is unique in my collection and that I do enjoy working with is Sprite. Like, that color is so pretty. This minty, really light color. I really love the Sprite color from Psyche's box. It's so cute. Okay, 3 palettes left. So we can talk about the Morphe Such a Gem palette now. It might be hard for you to guess what my favorite shadow is from here. And it was hard for me to decide on what my favorite one is. I was very close to picking either this shadow or this shadow as my favorites. There are these like topper light purples that I love. But what I ended up going with was actually Pink Prize, which is this matte bubblegum pink shadow, and it's because it is unique in my collection and I've actually gotten a lot of use out of it. Honestly, right now I'm getting so inspired by Sprite and Pink Prize being right next to each other. They're so pretty. It's actually such a great formula. It works super well. When I use it, I'm often using it to blow out the edges of a colorful look, and it really adds this like bright touch to the edge that I like. There's a lot of good shadows from this palette, a lot of hits and a lot of misses, but Pink Prize right now is my favorite for sure. Lunar Beauty Strawberry Dream. If you've watched my palette bingo of Lunar Beauty Strawberry Dream, you know that I talked about my favorites being Lightning and Horizon. Between those two, I want to pick Horizon just to have that more unique color on my arms, but it really is Lightning. Lightning is definitely my favorite. It's not so much reflecty as some of the other golds as it just is this like shiny white gold. It looks like it's glowing. Don't know if you can see it too well from there. And there you go. Lunar Beauty. I love this palette. Strawberry Dreams from Lunar Beauty. And then my last palette is the e.l.f. J. Kissa palette. I know a lot of people have been ranking it low, and I get that. It's the same way where for other ranking videos, Sailor Moon has been getting ranked really, really low, and a lot of people are getting really defensive about it from what I hear because their nostalgia for Sailor Moon is so strong. And I have a good nostalgia for Sailor Moon, but it's not as strong as other people's. So I understand why people are ranking it low, and I'm not getting mad about it. But when people are ranking like the e.l.f. J. Kissa palette low, my heart is like, no. And it's just because I really appreciate this palette, and it does hold a soft place in my heart, like a soft spot in my heart, because, you know, it's a palette that was to benefit rescue dogs, and that's where like the inspiration's from, and my dog is a rescue dog and I love her so much. I wanted to try e.l.f.'s formula at the time, but I really did get this palette because it hit my rescue dog heart. I love this palette, so for me, I get sad when people are ranking it low, but I understand completely the formula isn't the best. Like, I have hard pan on this orange really bad and this red. Like, these can be tricky, but I recently used the orange and I was able to work through it and I got this nice icy orange. Anyways, I know that my favorite shadow is Firefly. I reach for this palette for Firefly all the time, either to be put in my inner corner or on my eyelid. I love this whole row of yellow with my whole heart. I don't know, it's not like a unique shade, but it's just this yellow gold, you know? And I love just punchy yellows and punchy oranges. That's my favorite from the e.l.f. J. Kissa palette. What do you guys think of my favorites? I knew there'd be like a lot of shimmery yellows. There's also a lot of pinks happening and just some mid-tone browns. I'm pretty proud of like the variety in my favorites right now. I don't know, I kind of like them all together. Those are my favorites. Let me know what you think. If you have some of these palettes, let me know what your favorites are. I know a few of you have told me some of your favorites from various palettes before, and I think it's really fun to hear what your favorites are, what your least favorites are. I'm just staring at it because I find it very satisfying to look at. Hello, I've decided to make this a whole ass production. I will be doing a look with some of my favorite shadows, but I won't be randomizing it like others have. I've moved the hamster because it creeped me out. Right now I have my base on, bronzer, blush, eyebrows. I realized that I never said what my favorite shadow from Chasing Rainbows was. I'm just taking the creases out of my concealer that I put on my eyelids. I don't think I said what my favorite from Chasing Rainbows was, and it's actually Blurred Lines, which is in my Pan That palette right now. I remember looking at the video of the swatches I did and being surprised that I didn't have more iridescent yellowy whites, but that's because I forgot about Blurred Lines. Right now I'm just swatching all the iridescent yellow white eyeshadows that I liked, that were my favorite. Here are the swatches. You can see that a little bit. This is Blurred Lines. This is Lightning from Strawberry Dreams. This is Coral from the Tribe palette that has a little bit of a green reflect to it. And this is Silver Millennium from the Colourpop Sailor Moon palette. I definitely have a thing. I have a type. I love Lightning and Coral the most. But yeah, I'm gonna do a little look. Look at my fingers! I'm gonna start with my favorite from the Psyches box, and that would be Spray. Just that color is so unique. I'm not going to talk too much. I'm just going to do my makeup, and I hope that's okay.
I heard a funny thing just now. Lucius tells me. It's a little off, you two so friendly and being the enemy and all that.
Okay, we're going to start with that right now. Just really easily blended that out. I mentioned that the formula on this guy is a little tricky. It's pretty powdery, and I've had difficulty with it sticking to my eyelid. It would just like go away. But I've been not setting my eye base, and that's been working lately. I was really inspired when I was doing the video and swatching everything. I wanted to mix Pink Prize with this, so I'm going to do that next and put it in my inner crease area.
I know who you are. Yeah, I know who I am too, so what?
Alright, there's Pink Prize laid out really quick. So you know how I realized that Juicy Fruit was actually a dupe for Melody. So when I realized that Juicy Fruit was a dupe for Melody from the Sweet Talk palette, I backtracked and decided that my favorite shadow from the Sweet Talk palette would be ICYMI. I am gonna switch it around. I like ICYMI, but I realized if I didn't get surprised by that dupe, I definitely would have made Melody my favorite from the Sweet Talk palette and Red Bottoms my favorite from the Main Squeeze palette. I just have a lot of experience with Red Bottoms and a lot of love for it. I know how much I love it. ICYMI, I don't think is going to evoke that kind of love from me. I love red bottoms. Super versatile, dark matte. So I'm going to work with this as my favorite from Main Squeeze. Oh, I have my clothes there. I'm going to put red bottoms in my outer corner. Change of plans. I'm putting it on my lower eyelash line. Maybe I should try though. I'll try it a little bit up on the eyelid, I think. I love how bright Sprite is. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to do with the bottom lash line. Like I have red bottoms there, but I was thinking maybe I'll put more pink prize, but I don't know about that yet. And I don't know if I want to add Sprite there at all either. I want to go into the Kaleidos VR Neon and get my favorite shadow from here. This is fun. I like it. Let me see if electric amethyst would work in this case from the Celestial Storm palette. Would it work? I think so. I think it would be great to put right there. Let's put a little bit there. I think I do want to put a little bit of Sprite along the lower, like, I want it to hug a little bit. Yeah, I like that better. Like it integrates it a little bit more. All right. And I think what else do we need? I'm going to put a little bit of electric amethyst on my lower eyelash, whatever. So it like fades from purple to pink or pink to purple, whatever. Okay. Let's pick between one of the yellowy shimmers and put it in my inner corner. And I think I'm going to go with Blurred Lines from my Pan That palette, which was originally from my Chasing Rainbows Colourpop palette. And that's because I want to hit pan on it. So let's go. I'm gonna put a little bit of Blurred Lines on the brow bone. That's the eye look right now. I'm gonna put on highlight, lips, and mascara, and I'll call it a day. I'll be right back. Oh my god, hi. Oh my god, hi. So I put this maroon eyeliner from the Balm on my eyeline, and I put on this Tarte lip paint that I got in like a sample kit or something in Birthday Suit, I believe, on my lips. I'm trying to get rid of this. And I put the Fenty Gloss in Fenty Glow on my lips. Currently panning this. I put the Fenty Beauty Hustler Baby highlighter, Kilowatt highlighter on. Love it. Maybe I'd change the lip a little bit, but I think it goes with like the bright tone. There you go. There's an eye look with some of my favorite shadows from my collection. But yeah, okay, back to past Angela. This was future Angela. Now back to past Angela talking about this experience. I redid the swatches to more accurately show what my favorites from each palette were. The second one is Red Bottoms from Main Squeeze, the fifth one is Melody from Sweet Talk, and the sixth one is Blurred Lines from Chasing Rainbows. And then this one, I now know Warm Taupe is from Modern Renaissance, so that's that top one, and the second one is Electric from Subculture. I'm gonna go now. Goodbye. I hope you're doing well mentally and physically, and I hope you are keeping track of human rights issues such as the Black Lives Matter movement. That was the video. I'm already inspired, and I hope you get inspired too by something today, and have a good day. Bye.